This is the ZIKE Z331, and it is my favorite phone controller at this price point. So one thing this does, which a lot of them doesn't do, is this actually supports both Android and iOS. I see quite a lot of phone controllers just being designed for like one or the other. No idea why that is, but this one does both. Oh, and it also supports PC. So yes, you can put your PC in here. No, you can't. What you can do is actually put a female USB-C on there with a USB cable on the end and plug it into your PC or iPad and use this as like an external wired controller, which I suppose is pretty cool that it's got that feature. Now there's loads I love about this, but there's a couple of things I don't like and we'll cover those towards the end. So the things I do love is this is a 1000 Hertz phone controller, 1000 Hertz. And this little sticker doesn't seem like a lot, but it is actually wicked. So it tells you the input modes right there and the shortcuts for them, which I think is genius. Usually there's nothing in these bits. Like there might be some certification stuff or whatever in there, but actually usable functions listed in there that you're never going to forget, because how often are you rocking around with one of these with the manual in your pocket? You're not, right? So this tells you on the device. It seems meaningless, but it's actually really handy. So yeah, it's 1000 Hertz. We've got Hall effect joysticks, which I absolutely love. We've got mechanical face buttons, mechanical D-pad. We've got mechanical bumpers and analog, Hall effect analog triggers with a hair trigger software like mod that you can apply to it. We've got a movable USB-C port, which I think is a necessity on these kind of devices because no one's phones are ever the same, right? So being able to move this up and down and angle it really makes it easy. Got rubber grips on the back and on the side, so when you open this up, it's gonna like protect your phone on the backs and the sides. We've got mechanical back paddles, only 2, but I think that's pretty good at the price point, yeah? So you can assign buttons to them, or you can assign macros to them, which I think is pretty cool. You've also got a turbo function, so that it can auto press whatever button you've assigned to it, and you can change the turbo like actuation rate. It's also got vibration as well as these really nice ergonomic grips, which we'll look into in a moment. And one downside I see with a lot of these controllers is people in the comments go, you know what, Andy, I've just tried to order one and the shipping is outrageously expensive. Well, at least where it's registering for me, so I'm in the UK, so when I log into the website, it says, we'll ship to the UK for free. Now, I don't know if that's for every single country. You'll have to check on the website in the link below, but that's pretty good because usually there's a shipping charge. This is for free. And not just that, which I really like, is the environmental thing, which I wasn't expecting. ZIKE will plant 1 tree for every 1 item purchased. So if you buy one of these, a tree is going to get planted and you might just save the world. And that's not all, because we also have a USB-C port down here so that you can charge your phone, you know, like passively through it or whatever, actively, passively, actively, I don't know, whatever. You can charge your phone through it, and that supports 36 watts power delivery. And there's also an app as well. So you get nothing inside the box. You literally just get this and the manual as well. But this one looks really nice and the build quality is good. Obviously there's a little bit of wobble there because this is like telescopic, right? So there's a tiny bit of movement in there. But if you hold it like steady and shake it, none of the buttons rattle or anything like that. It's a very nice looking device. But on build quality wise, all the seams are super good, like really, really good. You can't feel any sort of like, you know, edges there, any burrs or anything like that, which I honestly wasn't expecting. I was kind of expecting the build quality to be a little bit worse than I expected, but no, it's actually decent. And the same goes for everything. The fit and finish of all of this, extremely nice. I mean, I get a very much Xbox Series S vibe from this with the buttons and the white and the black, and that's nice. You know, I like it. It's very, very clean. It's not got any rubbish all over it, like, or any like horrific designs. It's just a nice, clean looking controller, and I like how kind of bubbly it is. It aids in the ergonomics. So you've got really nice controller ergonomics just here. If I turn it up the other way, you can see how sort of like chonky these are, right? So that you've got some really good grips to hold on to. And honestly, in the hands, it's really, really nice. And this is one of my big plus points. And I'm sorry, ZIKE, I just wasn't expecting the little things that you would do with this that would make me really happy. So one thing about the ergonomics, which I love and I dislike about Pro controllers on a lot of third-party ones, is the buttons are hard to get to, right? So we've got like start and home, or hamburger and home, whatever, at the top here, which kind of makes sense. You're not going to push anything in the way to get to those, but often on the left side where the joystick is asymmetrical and it's high, I find buttons up near the top, and I find that really annoying to get to because I just start hitting the joystick and it's like really annoying, you know, it gets in the way. What they've done is they've shifted it down and they've put an LED indicator there instead, and that is perfect because you don't even have to like move your grip up to like press anything. It's just boop, there we go. We've got the buttons and the D-pad. Like it's something so small, but it means a lot to me when I've tested a lot of these, and some get kind of annoying. So big props to that. The ergonomics and feel are very nice. It does feel more premium than the price would suggest. The D-pad is clicky, so it's got mechanical switches underneath, but it's nice. It's a little bubbly thing. There's a bit of a concave to it. It's not horrendous. I can't attest to how good it is for fighting games because everyone knows I'm a Metroidvania, like platforming guy rather than a fighting guy. But for what I've been using it for, it's nice. It does actuate left and right when you push hard enough in those directions, but there we go. This is probably going to be more aimed at people streaming, I don't know, like Call of Duty or something like that, like from the phone or just any other kind of single player games. The joysticks, like I said, are Hall effect, so they are much less chance of getting drift, which drift is annoying. Everyone hates drift, so this is going to combat that. They are sort of smaller sticks, but they've got quite a slim stem on them, so the range of motion is what I'd expect just from any normal joystick. Now, there's no anti-friction metal ring around the stem. It is just black plastic. These are not removable at all, right? So it is just what it is, but they are super smooth, like really, really smooth, and there is like an anti-friction lip around them as well, so they do feel very, very smooth. I like that a lot. The face buttons, super clicky, like absolutely lovely. I love mechanical switches, but if you've got like audio issues, this might not be for you because it's like a mouse switch. Listen. And that's the same with all the buttons. Let's just go around. That's the back paddles, trigger, bumpers, start and select and all that, D-pad. So there's a lot of clickiness going on. So if that's not your thing, this isn't for you. But for me, I love mechanical switches because they actuate much quicker than membrane, which means you can do stuff like this where you're multiple pressing a button much faster because you can like bounce it on the switch, right? And yeah, it's really nice. There's a bit of pre-travel, so you push it before it then clicks, but there's not really any post-travel. So bit of pre-travel, no post-travel, but honestly, it's so minor you would never really notice unless you're being finicky, like feeling it. But in a game, very good, very consistent. I like that a lot. All the other buttons are very consistent as well and nice and clicky. The bumpers, they actuate all over no matter where you want to press them, which is also nice. The triggers are analog. There's no like switch or anything to make them into a digital trigger, but you can software mod it, and we'll show you that in a bit. So the feel of all of this is very nice. Oh, and the back paddles are not an afterthought. This is one thing I find with loads of companies is the back paddles always feel like an afterthought. So they're always mushy and they're like horrible. They're just like thrown in. No, ZIKE have put in mechanical switches on the back as well, and I love that. So you've got mechanical inputs everywhere so that you're going to get really good inputs. Like spec-wise and everything, again, 1000 hertz polling rate. I know I've said that like 5 times already, but that's really impressive. I would expect this to cost a lot more, but we'll go over the price at the end. Now, I said there's a couple of things that I dislike, and that's about the installation. So this opens up absolutely fine, you know, and it is wide, so you can get like a really big thing, maybe like an iPad mini in there or something, I don't know, but you can get a fairly big sort of unit inside that. But what I kind of dislike, or no, I do absolutely dislike, is I can't put my phone in with a case on. So I'm using a Google Pixel 8 Pro with a mouse case, and you just can't do it. Like, first of all, the USB-C is not long enough, so it would need to protrude a little bit more to account for the case that I have on. But also, whilst this USB-C does move, it doesn't go high enough for it to get in. So I have absolutely jammed it in there, but it just will not connect. So that means I have to take my phone case off, and that is a downside for me. I'm lazy. I don't want to be doing that. I put a phone case on when I buy a phone. I don't take it off until I sell the phone however many years later, right? It just annoys me. And I don't want to be like on a train somewhere going, okay, cool, I've got this. This isn't too much of a hassle. I could have this in my bag or whatever. And then I've got to like take my phone case off and like throw that like onto the next seat behind me. And, you know, people get upset. It's just annoying. So, you know, I don't like doing that personally. I'd rather leave the phone case on, but you cannot do that here. So we're going to have to take my phone case off, which means you're going to see all the dirty dust and horrible stuff on my phone because I never take it off unless I'm doing these, you know, controller videos, right? So anyway, you've got your phone here, and what you're going to do is just sort of find the USB-C port on your phone and then open it up like so, and then just give it a push. Click. And now it is clicked in, and there we go. It's just vibrated to say, hey, I've connected, right? And that's it. And bear in mind, I've got a pretty big camera bump on the Pixel 8 Pro just there, and it fits in absolutely fine. The rest of it's flush to all the rubber stuff, so I know that it's protected. It's not going to scratch, providing there's no dirt on the actual controller beforehand. But yeah, it's on and it feels comfortable. Now this is the app. So at the top, we've got About, and you can device upgrade, so firmware upgrade. Mine's fine. It says this is up to date, no need to do it. But then if you back out, you've got game mode and Xbox mode. So if I try and touch that, I've got PlayStation mode, I've got Xbox mode, HID, Bluetooth Android Direct Play, and wired Android Direct Play mode. Now, you can change those around. You saw the sticker and it's in the manual, but you can do it from the app if you so will. If you so will, if you so wish. Now, going to Game Station brings this up, and this is the main sort of app, right, where you can just do everything. Now, you can reassign stuff, so you can select a target on the left-hand side, so whatever button that you want on here, and then you've got these key traits. So normal is just like normal button mode, macro is macro, so that you can assign like multiple stuff or whatever, and you can do it all here in the app. If you go back to normal, you could do map button 2, and then you can swap it to any of these. So you can just rebind keys and do it on the fly like this, which is really cool via the app, I mean, you know, and then you can remap, and you can even assign turbo if you want to, and you can do that for all of the buttons, even like the start and select and stuff, which is different because usually you can't remap those. The other thing that's weird is there's only 2 back paddles, but we've got M1, M2, M3, and M4. I haven't worked out what M3 and M4 are. I guess it's a bug in the app. I've rebound them and nothing changes on the buttons, but whatever. So what I've done with my back paddles is assigned them to L3 and R3, but you know, I'll cancel that out because we'll do it on the fly, because you don't have to do it in the app. But generally, that's what I do. I do the left back paddle as L3 because I hate pushing the sticks in. So when I've done that, I don't need to do that. But depending on the game, you know, depends. But anyway, so that's the rebinding section. If we go to trigger, that's actually joystick. I would have thought trigger was trigger, you know, like trigger? No, trigger is joystick, but whatever. So you can even see it like here as well in the app, like when I'm moving it, you can choose the dead zone. I think it comes on 10 or 15%. I dropped it to 5. You can put it at 0 dead zone, but you know, you're more likely to potentially get a little bit of drift if it's not centered correctly, and you can't center it in the app. You could change the left joystick and the right joystick just here. You've got response curves if you want to get really techie with this, which is crazy. There's some preset ones just there as well. Or you can go to lever, which is actually trigger, right? So you can see here that they are analog triggers. So you could press them lightly. So you could use this as a throttle or whatever, you know, in a racing game. Or you can put it on quick trigger, which is just going to be digital, you know, like digital input. So on the left here now, I'm just feathering that trigger and it's putting it to 100% or lever. And then on this side, I've got it on normal, but I'm going to turn that off. You can do that with button combinations later as well. And then you've even got rumble here, so you can test vibration. So just to give you a sound test of this vibration, it's very sort of like high pitch and tinny. Not my favorite, but it's got vibration and that's what matters. So take a listen. The good thing is it is consistent on either side, which I often see with controllers and they're not. but this one is. So right now, I've just jumped into Ninja Gaiden 2 Black on Xbox Game Pass. I can't really see the screen very well because I'm trying to like show you it, so I'm probably going to get absolutely annihilated, but I know after I've killed the first few guys in this area, then I can get to showing you some of the features in this controller. But for stuff like this, it's perfect. Those mechanical buttons feel absolutely great. You know, they feel brilliant. I really, really enjoy how they feel. You know your inputs are inputting correctly. They are just brilliant. So you can absolutely use this for any kind of streaming, PlayStation Remote Play, Xbox Game Pass, Steam Link, Nvidia, like you can basically use this on anything as well as just standard phone games. This is like your one and done phone controller, which I think is awesome. Again, if you're really into phone gaming and you're streaming a lot, you've still got this pass-through charging port. So you can charge your phone up via here and just game for as long as you want, and hopefully not upside down like this. So I think this is really, really cool. So you've got those two back paddles on the back there, and if you want to assign them, it's really quite easy, to be perfectly honest. You've got a function key down there on the bottom, and what you want to do is press and hold both. So I'm hitting the right one right now. The light goes purple. I'm going to press A, and then I'm going to press that back paddle again, and now I've assigned A to it. So I can run around and I can jump with this back paddle, right, instead of using A. And the same with, like, let's say, I don't know, this one. So let's press function and left back paddle, hold it for a few seconds until that light turns purple. I'm going to tap L1, going to tap the back paddle again, and now I can dodge or I can block on Ninja Gaiden just here with the back paddle, which is really cool. So you can just assign whatever you want to that, but that is obviously just a single button press, right? But this actually also has macros. So I'm going to change the right side. So function and right, it's going to go purple again, right? And then I'm going to go around, I'm just going to do some stuff. Like, you know, I'm just going to record a load of stuff, right? And then press that back paddle again. And now I've pressed it. And now look, he's doing all those inputs for me. Even the joystick inputs are being recorded. So let's go back to the center of this stage and press it again, right? And now he's doing all those inputs. I mean, he's getting stuck on the wall because apparently I was pushing that direction, but I'm not doing anything and he's just done it for me. You can't assign turbo to that macro. So, you know, some people might not like that, but I wouldn't want to do that myself personally, but you've got macro features there if you actually want to use them. And to cancel them out, you just basically record nothing. So wait until it's purple and then just press the back paddle once. And now that back paddle is completely useless, right? Which is pretty cool. You've also got turbo. So if I press home and X once, right, I can hold X and now you can see this light is flashing and he's just going crazy, attacking, 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 right? If I want to adjust the rate of turbo, I press home and then left on the D-pad and it will flash, or right, and it will get quicker. And I believe it's 10, 20, 30, or 40 inputs a second. So there's 4 different modes that you can choose from just by pressing home and left and right on the D-pad. Now, yes, you've got that quick trigger mode. Like I said, you can assign the quick trigger mode on the fly. So all you have to do is press and hold function and hold the trigger down for a few seconds, and that puts it on like digital trigger mode. I'm not going to do it on this game because the triggers don't do anything, right? I'm not in a racing game or a shooter or anything like that, but that is something that's possible as well. You've also got volume up and down by pressing home, and then up and down in HID mode only. So that's something to note. And that's pretty much it. So what don't I like about this controller? Pretty much the only thing I don't like about this controller is the fact that I can't use my phone case. If I could use my phone case, this would jump up like another 3 points, and all they would have to have done is made the USB-C port like a little bit longer, the male port of the USB-C there, a little bit longer and a bit more height for it to move up and down so that it could accommodate 4 cases. But ultimately, that's not the end of the world. Most people using one of these probably know they're gonna have to take their phone case off. So that's not really a big deal. There's not a lot that I dislike about this. Some people might not like all the clicky buttons. I personally do like them. I think that's wicked. There's really not a lot I can say bad about this. Like, the ergonomics are great. Mechanical switches everywhere. 1000 hertz mode. You've got so much stuff going on here. Rumble, hair trigger mode, normal, Hall effect sticks. Like, this is a phone controller that I would expect to be up there with like the GameSir G8 prices, right? Which is like £75 here in the UK. This is around the sort of £60 mark, and it's currently on offer on their website for £48. Now, I'd say at that £50 mark, that's where this lies. If you can get it for around that £50 mark, maybe about the $60 mark, that is fully 100% worth this device. Once you start going up close to that £70 mark, you're in GameSir G8 territory. Then it's a bit of a harder push, but around that 50 mark, $60-ish, this, I can absolutely recommend this completely. Like, it's a really good phone controller. I really enjoyed testing this one. I hope you guys like it. What do you think of the ZIKE phone controller here? Let me know down in the comments whilst you're down there. Like this video, subscribe, become a member, and you can talk to me and AJ over on our private Discord. And talking of AJ, stick around for his news videos and our podcast, which we host on this channel as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.